Hey guys, just wanted to talk through the team project a little bit, just to make sure everybody's on the same page and we know what we're doing. So I've added over here an upcoming assignments link, and if you click on that, you will see folders for choice learning projects if you haven't finished that, the team project, and then the tests. So under the team project, this info is also under course information, but just in case you wanted a little more focused, the link to the research guide, you can still book appointments with librarians virtually. So if you are needing help, either checking your APA formatting, finding sources, vetting those sources, making sure that they're good, reliable sources of information, book yourself an appointment with one of our librarians. Here's your team project guide. You should have picked your company, step 1. Step 2, you should have been doing these chapter posts all semester long. Step 3, have you found the problem? Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. That's kind of what you need to focus in on right now. What is the HR problem that you are going to help solve in this paper? And then the annotated bibliography, the executive summary, and your presentation, okay? Annotated bibliography is going to be easier for some of you than others. Some of your teams have been really good about multiple people posting multiple sources on every topic every time. You're going to be able to just pull that stuff in. Now, if you've done that in APA format, that's already formatted for you and you're good to go. A lot of you guys just posted links, which was fine for just getting the information in there, but it means you have more work here on the back end. You need to cite those things properly, and again, if you're not sure, talk to our librarians. They'll help you out with it. Purdue OWL is also a good resource to go to for APA format. This should be a citation and notes, okay? And we'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. Exec summary. Instead of writing a whole paper, you're giving us a summary of your paper. So this is kind of a summary of what you're going to present to us in class. First, there should be an overview of the HR system at the company that you're talking about, including a little background info on the company, what do they do, that sort of thing. But then, what are the HR functions like? What is the problem that you've identified? And what is your potential solution? So then we're going to do presentations to the class. This is where things get a little sticky now that we're not together. We can use Collaborate for this, but I know that some people have been having technical issues with Collaborate, and so if all of your team members do not have reliable internet or do not have a computer with a microphone or have not been able to call in, maybe you don't want to use Collaborate exclusively to present this project. In the last announcement and also in the revised schedule, I've posted some more info about this presentation. Last thing on here is weekly team posts. Hopefully everybody knows how to do those by now, but in case you don't and you want to make sure you get the last ones done, there is a walkthrough on that. Let's go look at the last announcement while we're here. Okay, so here's the stuff on team posts. It says we can do them with Collaborate. What I think might be better is to create a virtual presentation with your team members. Screencast-O-Matic is a free software. It's what I'm using to do this right now, where you can basically put a box on your screen and say, this is the part of my screen that I want to record. You can either have yourself here in the corner like I do today talking if you have a webcam, or it can just be your screen and you can have audio over it as long as you've got a microphone. So you can very easily record a PowerPoint presentation, slides, Prezi, whatever you want to use. You can also record PowerPoint slides directly in PowerPoint, but the files tend to get really big. I think this might be a better option, especially if you're editing multiple ones together. So you do your part, your teammates do their parts. Then in YouTube, you can kind of add those things together, or if you've got Apple iMovie can be used to put stuff together. There's a lot of software out there to put videos together that you can then post to YouTube. We can use either Facebook Watch Party, possibly if enough people have Facebook accounts, or the one that I kind of like is a new one that I found called MetaStream, which I'll show you here. This is a video in MetaStream. You can add videos from YouTube, Twitch, SoundCloud, Netflix, Google, Reddit, Hulu, anywhere you've got it posted. I think for most of us, this would be uploading a YouTube video. But you can go there, pick the video that you want. Let's watch Claire make Girl Scout cookies, because of course. You click add to session. When you're done with the first video, because I was demoing this for another class, so I'm going to skip to the end of this video if I can to take us to our video. You invite everybody, so we can just copy the URL, go to Blackboard. Oops. Go to Blackboard. We'll see if it'll let me into this thing. Go to Blackboard, go to Collaborate, go to the chat, post whatever it is that you want to post. And then everybody could click on that so that we could all watch the same video at the same time, and have the audio through our own speakers. And once you've got the sucker playing, you can also, I've only used this a couple times, guys, so it's going to take me a second to remember how to do this, but there is a way to turn on chat in this room. Maybe here. So, oops, sorry guys. This is what MetaStream looks like to either join a session or start a session. Let me see if I play with settings. Okay, let's try that. Okay, we'll go back. Start session. Here's our video. There it is. We've got a chat right here so that as we're watching, we can chat real time. Okay, so we could have kind of a conversation going on here as we're watching. So if people have questions or they want to comment, or if you guys are asking questions, they can type responses in here. Also, you could have it be the majority of your presentation and end it kind of with the problem or the thing that you want class to focus on. So let's say that you've presented on Jeffrey Weinstein or something, and the Weinstein Company and this big sexual harassment scandal. So you present everything that happened, and then you say to the class, if you were on the board of directors of the Weinstein Company, what would you suggest that they do? What changes should they make to HR policies? What should the penalties be for that sort of stuff? End the video. We go back to Collaborate, and people can talk about it. And then you can audibly, at the end, say, here's our solution. Or you could have a second video with your solution, and after we talk about it, we could go back to MetaStream and watch your solution. I don't know. I'm spitballing here, guys. But I think that might be better than just trying to do it live completely in Collaborate. But I'm happy to hear what you guys think of how we should handle these presentations. It's not going to be the same as presenting live. It's not quite the same skills as presenting live, but being able to present information electronically, remotely, virtually, is still a really valuable skill to develop, as we're seeing right now, as a lot of people are working from home, dealing with virtual teams and stuff like that. It is valuable skills, and even learning how to use some of the software is kind of valuable skills. So let me know what you think about that. My husband has also suggested starting a class Discord, and that maybe we could do some presentations in there. I haven't played Discord a lot, but if you guys are gamers, maybe you're familiar with Discord. I think that the same tech problems we have with Collaborate we might have with Discord, but if you guys think differently, let me know and we can try to set something up. So that's a little bit about how maybe the presentations might go. I also want to encourage you when you're doing your team project to make sure that you have opened this document about the team project, that you're not just relying on this little guide, that you have read in detail the team project instructions. And I'm going to pull that up right now. You've picked your company, you've been gathering information, maybe you're on the focal issue. This gives you some more info on what an annotated bibliography is and what yours should look like. So you're going to turn in an annotated bibliography, which means citation and then a summary. What does the article say? And is this valuable, or do we question this information in any way? So if you've pulled some information from the company website that says, we're an equal opportunity employer, we highly believe in all of this stuff, diversity, inclusion, yada, 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 and then you've also found 17 articles about how they're being sued for racial discrimination, unequal pay as far as gender is concerned, firing people for being in the LGBTQIA community, whatever, you might include under that citation, XYZ company claims to be really, EEOC compliant, but also an inclusive workplace. This is called into question by our other research, and then have the citations for the other research with their own summaries. Okay, so this shouldn't just be a summary, but also a little bit of a critique. Can you believe what this source tells you? So if you found a blog from a disgruntled employee and you've written about one of their issues, you're also going to want to think about, okay, but this is coming from a disgruntled employee. Can I believe everything in this blog post as being 100% true versus a very well-researched article in the Wall Street Journal, in the New York Times, and the Washington Post, right? We want to consider what the source is. There should be some consideration of that in your annotated bibliography. Annotated bibliographies are often alphabetical, but I would suggest breaking it into headings. So if you've got sources for each of your HR functions, maybe have headings for each of those, whether that's recruitment, selection, or recruitment and selection, compensation, whatever, and then alphabetize within each section. And then you're going to also, of course, have sources about your focal issue and maybe sources to back up your ideas for what you suggest they do. So that might be stuff from your textbook. Yes, you should cite your textbook if you use it. It might be articles about HR policies, about motivational theories, about things like that, okay? You want to back up your recommendations as well. So that stuff should all be in your annotated bibliography. Some of that may not have been in your weekly posts. So don't assume, I posted one thing about recruitment for this company. That's enough. I want to see some research here, guys. I'm not looking for one source for each header, okay? I'm looking for multiple sources, ideally. And in particular, if it's about your focal issue and your solution, there should be some sources there, okay? Then, what is happening? Sorry, guys. Somebody just rang my doorbell. Okay, I'm back. The executive summary, again, not a full paper. This should be the highlights. If somebody didn't have the time to read all of the research that you compiled in your annotated bibliography, what would you want them to know? A little bit about the company, a little bit about their HR system, a little bit about the focal issue, a little bit about your solution. This should be a page or two, guys. Real concise, but I should still be able to get a picture of what's going on, which means each HR function should be mentioned. The focal issue should be explained, and your solution should be there. This should not be a paragraph, okay, but it's also not a full paper. There's some resources here about executive summaries, and then your presentation. 15 to 20 minutes is what we're banking on. We're going to be doing it a little bit differently. Happy to get your feedback on that. but those are the things you need to be considering for your final project. And remember to plan for this. What do you need to have done at what time in order to get your presentation and your rough drafts due when they're due and the final draft due when it's due?